All right, so here we are, the last video of Unit 6. Let's wrap it up. We're going to talk about the Congress of Vienna today. So Europeans were desperate for peace and stability after Napoleon had been defeated. Their one goal was to achieve security and stability for all of Europe. Now, there was a series of meetings in Vienna called the Congress of Vienna, where policies were to be written and to help achieve this goal. Originally, the Congress was only supposed to last for 4 weeks, but instead it lasted for 8 months. So who all was there? Well, much of the decisions were made by like the major powers. So think Russia, Prussia, Austria, Great Britain, and France. One of the most influential men at the Congress of Vienna was Clemens von Metternich. His last name is spelled M-E-T-T-E-R-N-I-C-H. I'll spell it again. M-E-T-T-E-R-N-I-C-H. Now, he was a foreign minister from Austria who did not trust the democratic ideals of the French Revolution, but we'll talk more about him in a few minutes. Remember that Europe is looking for stability right now, and Metternich pushed for France to be contained, if you will. So he wanted France to kind of was thinking, hey, look, we all need to keep an eye on this France. You never know what's going to happen there again. He supported a balance of power. So you should remember that a balance of power is when no country has more power than any other country, so that no single nation would become too powerful. So the results of the Congress of Vienna are, there were a few of them, 4 of them to be exact. So first, boundaries in Europe were moved. The Austrian Netherlands and the Dutch Republic, they joined together to form the Kingdom of the Netherlands. There were 39 German states that joined together to form the German Confederation, and it was dominated by Austria. Switzerland was acknowledged as an independent nation, and Genoa was added to the Kingdom of Sardinia in Italy. The second thing is that old monarchs and ruling families were restored. So this is called a time of reaction, and reactionaries wanted to undo all of the changes that had been made and go back to the way that things had been. For example, Spain went back to absolutism, okay? So they kind of all thought, hey, look, this whole ruling ourselves thing, democratic stuff doesn't necessarily work, and some of the countries went back to absolutism. The third thing is that we enter into a time period of extreme conservatism, which means resistance to change. For example, the Holy Alliance, which was a group of leaders who joined together and promised to rule as Christians. There was also the Concert of Europe, which was a group of leaders who promised to maintain balance of power by enforcing the decisions made by the Congress of Vienna. And fourth, in reaction to the Congress of Vienna, we see liberalism become more popular. So remember that liberalism is the belief in individual rights and the rule of law. Okay, so back to Metternich. Metternich was a reactionary, meaning that he thought that things needed to stay as they were. He didn't like change. He wanted to undo what had been done by the French Revolution. Well, because he wanted things to stay the same and not change, he feared liberalism as well as the ideas of enlightenment. And here's what he did believe in, though. He believed in suppressing the freedom of speech and press, meaning that you shouldn't have the right to say or print whatever you feel like doing. He believed that revolutions shouldn't be prevented. He also believed in absolutism, and he supported the idea of divine right to rule. So what does Metternich do? He organized a secret police organization in Austria and the German states to prevent any kind of revolutions from occurring. All right, so let's talk about the actual effects of the Congress of Vienna. So there are 3 major effects of the Congress of Vienna. First, there begins to be a rise in nationalism. Now, in the margin of your notes, in your own words, tell me what nationalism is. Go on and do that now. Click pause, okay? All right, so we're seeing a rise in nationalism occurring across Europe as well as into Latin America. The second effect is that there is a series of revolutions that occur across Europe in 1848. And this proves two things. One, that these Enlightenment ideas are not going to just go away. And two, that people are super upset about the Congress of Vienna. And the final effect that is that Great Britain made Enlightenment reforms peacefully. So Great Britain gave more citizens voting rights, as well as made slavery illegal. So there were some good things that came out of the Congress of Vienna, but not everybody was happy with it. So that wraps up our unit. Very quick, very short last video about the Congress of Vienna. Please make sure you have all of your videos watched. Make sure you have all of your video checks taken care of before you come in to take your test. And I will see you next class.